We're all either drinking less or we're all either drinking more. It really just comes down to which set of data you look at. But it could mean, obviously, that attempts to change our culture of obsessive and excessive drinking is either paying off or, in fact, everything we've heard for the last few years about cracking down on binge drinking has been a failure. The authors of a new report say it's probably the latter. We are drinking more, men in particular, it seems, and we maybe, they suggest, should have cigarette-style warnings on our bottles of booze. We'll get the views of our panellists in just a moment. But first, here's Mike Clay.
Every few years, the Bureau of Statistics asks Australians how much they drink, and the results are sobering. We're drinking more than in 2001, and about a third of Aussie men are drinking dangerous amounts.
Society needs to discuss alcohol and come to a much better understanding of its ill effects.
But these new figures seem to contradict the most authoritative survey in the area by the Australian Institute of Health and Welfare. It says more teenagers are abstaining, and those who do drink do it later in life. Risky drinking amongst the young is down, as is binge drinking across the board. So, does this call for a toast?
I think we probably are heading in the right direction with the numbers trending down, as our data would indicate. Things were fairly steady through the 2000s, according to our data through the National Drug Strategy Household Survey. We've certainly seen between 2010 and 2013 a reduction in risky drinking levels.
But hold up, just what is risky drinking? Well, according to official guidelines, it's drinking more than 2 standard drinks a day, every day. Why? Well, the boffins run the numbers and come up with a lifetime risk assessment. How likely you are to die from anything alcohol related. And at 2 standard drinks a day, that likelihood is 0.9% for men and 0.8% for women. As in, so-called risky drinking gives you less than a 1 in 100 chance of dying from alcohol over your lifetime. And if you don't drink and drive or injure yourself when you're drunk, that risk is halved. So how does that compare to, say, getting in your car? Well, the lifetime risk of dying in a traffic accident when you drive 10,000 miles a year in the US is about 1.7%, much higher. So risk is relative, but so are statistics. It depends on who and what they ask.
We would just hope that our data would be used to inform those decisions. We don't make any recommendations about particular policy responses.
The researchers behind today's study in the Medical Journal of Australia want cigarette-style warning labels on alcohol.
Alcohol is in many respects similar. There should be more education about its sensible use, and there should be counter-advertising to disabuse people of the way of thinking that this is a way out of life's difficulties.
But if we're tracking better in some studies and worse in others, is more action needed or less?